Grace,
Eric,
I'm in Maine.
you're in Maine. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Maine?
Running, sleeping, eating. That's about it.
That's what you do in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but there's bigger, funner stuff here. And I'm not working. That's a vacation.
Fabulous. That sounds great.
You ready? Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Don't be a weenie. Tune in to episode 16. I'm Eric, Idiot Runner Kosek.
And I'm Grace, Hot Pants Langheim. Eric is all business in the front of the pack, and I am all about the party in the back.
That's right. Business up front and party in the back. Together, we are the Running Mullet.
And we are going to talk about every aspect of running, the podium to the DNF and everything in between.
If you are a runner, this show is for you. Now sit back, get out your foam roller, and enjoy the party.
Woo. Okay. Let's bring it in. What are you doing? What kind of running did you do over the weekend?
I drove a lot over the weekend because Maine's 12 hours from me. So my whole family came, my daughters, Casey and Lauren, and my beautiful wife, Becky. So we went halfway and did the hotel thing and then finished off the trip and got here yesterday evening.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So I got a good story real quick.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So up here in Maine, Bar Harbor, it's it's a touristy area. It's beautiful along the coast, but there is a crap load of gnarly trails that a lot of people don't realize. Like more trails than you could, like the routes you can find, you could do it for days and days and days and not cross over the same trails. And it's huge elevation, gnarly rocks and this and that. Well, this was
gnarly?
It's gnarly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we did 9 miles today with 3,000 feet of gain and our pace was it was slow, Grace. But anyway, Lauren, my oldest daughter, today was her first time like going out with John Johnson and I, like for a real big person run, I guess you would say, you know.
Big kid. I still haven't done a big kid run with you.
I should invite you. But anyway, like I was excited, she was excited, John Johnson was excited. We were all excited to be up here, right? First run of the week. Well, we're running and we're having a blast, and we're pretty much on our way back from the 9 mile loop. And we finally get to this like kind of buffed out section where you can run a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I look up and I see her just laying on the ground, or like in the middle of these like big giant rocks. I'm like, "Oh, you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Obviously, like that's all she wants us to hear is that she's fine. She doesn't want to ruin this experience. And yeah, she busted up her knee pretty good. She got some badass blood. I got some pictures. I mean, she's fine. She'll be out there the couple of days, but it was a pretty good fall. She got her elbow. She bruised up her hip. She was bleeding from the knee. She got up after she was fine. She stood up and literally her legs were vibrating, shaking. She was so shaken by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was awesome though, but man.
It's so awesome when kids get hurt, isn't it? No, I think it makes for a great experience, a great story. Wow,
do you want to backtrack that a little bit? Or no, it was an amazing day, amazing morning.
To have a big experience like that, and at the end of the day, be just fine. You know.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter, she got up at 4:30 a.m. with us to go out for this trail run. I mean, come on, I'm a happy dad.
Yeah.
What about you? What'd you do this weekend?
I got my ass kicked by Laura. That's what happened.
That's right. That looked like a fun little adventure.
Yeah, Laura, I needed it. I needed to push myself a little bit. And so I go running with Laura Fike and Laura Leidecker, and her pace is a lot faster than mine. But we enjoy each other's company. And so we run together a lot. And a lot of times she'll let me go in the front. Otherwise, she just loses track of me. She'll like wait until she can't hear me breathing anymore. And then she'll stop eventually because she knows I'm too far behind. But this time she went in front and I really pushed myself a little bit. So that was a really great run. We did part of the Boulderfield 100K course and pushed myself to run all the douche grade uphills and everything. So, yeah.
You know, you two running together, and you obviously you're good friends, and you've done it in the past. But runs like that for athletes like both of you, and I know you'll agree, are very good for both of you.
Yeah, she loves having an opportunity to slow down and have some laughs, and I'm good for a couple of laughs. And
Right.
I need to be pushed, so we're a great pair together. And it just goes to show that you really should run with people who are not your pace, whether it's slower than you or faster than you. Just run all the different paces because they can benefit in lots of ways. So it was a great weekend. I enjoyed it, and I am really going to enjoy tonight's show because a couple of things are happening. One, Western States is coming up this weekend. As always, this is an interactive show, so love to see the comments, questions, dad jokes in the live chat. And want to hear from you. Are you paying attention to Western States? Do you have any favorite front runners on the women's side, on the men's side? Are you following any other runners throughout the pack? Because as always, we follow the front, the back, and the front and the back of the pack, the middle of the pack, all the packs. And on tonight's show, I am so excited for this because I'm going to have to ask Vanessa when she comes on. So we have Vanessa Kline and John Swanson on. And every time there's like a Facebook, I follow all the Facebook groups. And every time there's a Facebook group and there's a podcast and they'll say, who should we interview? I always say Vanessa Kline. And finally, we just had to create our own podcast so that I could finally hear an interview with Vanessa Kline. So,
that's why we made this show. Wow, this is news to me.
So we can interview the people we want to hear from, I think, right? Both you and I.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I want to hear from Vanessa Kline. So
you went from Western States to Vanessa Kline, but we got to talk about the dude who's sitting next to her.
In between. Yeah. Yes, thank you for that. So lots of reason why I wanted to have these two on the show. But John Swanson made it into Western States, and he did go to camp. He went to Western States camp, so want to talk all about this weekend. So the two of them, they're a couple. They run together all the time. They also run separately. Vanessa has her own company, Beast Coast Productions, and puts on many races and Beast Coast Pacing, and she's done Vol State. She's done HOTS, which HOTS is happening, I think, right around this weekend.
It's happening
right now. And so she's just a badass in her own right. And one of my favorite experiences with Vanessa and John before I loop them in was the first time I attempted Eastern States, and I was running in the field section. You know what I'm talking about? Is the grassy section. Yeah. I was running in the grassy section, and I saw Vanessa and John running toward me. And I said, why are you two running toward me? And it was because they got lost at Eastern States. So, and with that, now we'll bring on Vanessa Kline and John Swanson.
Beautiful introduction.
Hi. You like that intro?
Yes.
That's a favorite memory.
We were lost.
Yeah, we went so far off course too. We just the markers on the snowmobile trail just looked the same as the markers on the trail, so we just kept going.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty course to keep going at least.
Yeah. All right, Western States. Let's focus on that first and get that out of the way. I mean, I'm excited about that. That's coming up very soon. John, very nice to meet you guys. For one, I don't know if I've ever met you. I don't think we've met in person yet. I hope to very soon. But thank you for coming on the show, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, John, when are you guys heading out? Or you both are going out to Western States, I assume?
Yes.
When are you heading out?
Thursday. Get there Thursday night.
And when's the race start?
Saturday.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So my number one question is, what is your goal out there?
Finish.
Just to finish?
Finish.
Not just to finish, but, you know.
Yeah, 1 minute under is fine, you know, whatever. I'd feel great out there. It was nice to go out to camp. It really made it like I understood how hard it can be, and then how the course kind of drops after like the Forest Hill Elementary School. But so yeah, it was, I definitely want to finish. You know, it's 100 miles, and I'm always riding the end of a 100-miler. So you know, for me, finishing it would be amazing, and that's the goal.
You're gonna finish.
That's the plan. So that's what we're doing. And I'll probably be living off. I'll be like floating off the ground with just all the excitement. It's just like Western States vibe. It's so cool. It's so amazing, and I just feel so blessed and lucky, just amazingly lucky to get in. You know,
How long has it taken you?
Only 3 years.
Nice.
Oh, that's not bad. So how many tickets did you have in?
4.
Wow, you got in on 4 tickets. Nice.
Yeah. I spoke to a couple people who were like 8-9 years when I was at camp. So yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, statistically, I heard it takes 10 years. Although there's plenty of people who get in on 1 ticket, but you know, the statistics say the average is 10 years to get in. So congratulations on getting in. Just one of 3 people from Pennsylvania. So there's yourself.
I'm Jersey.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're Jersey. I always think you two are in Pennsylvania because you're so close.
It's close enough.
And you race over here sometimes. I love our Jersey friends. Great trails over in Jersey, and I've done a couple races over there and just had nothing but a good time. I feel like it's our sister state. We're fine. We're all one family.
Yes.
So
we
just
travel all over.
Yeah, the two of you do, and Vanessa, you're originally from California too. So you have you been out on the Western States course before, Vanessa? Before
I have not.
Okay,
I have not.
I don't know if you ever went out there.
Well, I'm excited too.
Yeah. Are you doing any pacing?
I am. It was a little sketchy until just a couple weeks ago, because as you know, and some other people probably know, I'm coming back from a pretty rough broken foot, and I was in a boot for over 4 months. So it's just been a slow recovery process, and with work too. I think like all of that coupled in, my training has been lackluster.
Yeah.
What about John? How's John's training been?
His has been like probably the best since I've known him. I feel like.
But you know, as all like I'm 48 and everything aches here, it moves there and everywhere. But I've been doing pretty good considering. Not bad. I'm feeling good coming into this. Climbing, I've never had an issue with climbing. It's no big deal. It's all the downhill running, and unlike Pennsylvania with all the rocks, Western, you got smooth. You could just run downhill and just let go. There's some rocks here and there, but it's nothing compared to the mountains out here. But the climbs go on forever. That's another thing, you know.
And I should preface. I think we should preface this whole conversation with, just in case people don't know what Western States is. I feel like I don't want to make that assumption. We kind of jumped into talking about Western States, but I think if you were to compare Western States to another sport, Western States is kind of like the Super Bowl of trail running, and UTMB is probably World Cup, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good.
I always tell people, especially like if they're like on the road running side, I always say like it's like the Boston Marathon of 100 milers.
Yeah.
Harder to get into though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so hard to get into, but it's out in California.
There's like 8,000 entrants this year for Western, and it's like 390 got in. So like the odds are very stacked against.
Yeah. And there's just a few ways to get in. So you can get in through lottery. You can get in on a sponsorship. You can get in if you were the previous year's top 10 finisher. And then
not happening for us.
Yeah. And then you can get in off of the raffle, which happens on the day of the lottery. And you can get in off of one of the aid station tickets. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a couple of, I think, race director tickets that are given out, or
like volunteers.
Yeah. So really, really slim group of people, and that all has to do with permitting because of that area. And the other thing to mention, I think, for this year is the weather. So John, how are you feeling about the weather this year? Was there snow on the course when you went out to camp?
Oh yeah. We've definitely had a lot of fun in the snow, and it was not like East Coast snow. You know, it could get slushy. It was like crunchy snow cone kind of
Okay.
snow. It wasn't hard. It would move a little bit on your feet, but a lot of that has melted. According to there's like a grid posted on the page. It's down to 6 inches like 2 weeks ago. So, and it was up to like, I don't know, feet last time. So.
Yeah, we got a little insider info at Rucky Chucky. They're definitely taking a boat.
I was just going to ask that. Okay.
High. So one of our friends is volunteering there, and she's like, "You're taking a boat." So
would you
be a nice little break, maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say, which one would you prefer, going through the river or taking the boat? I feel like taking the boat gives you a little break, you know.
Yeah, it does. I mean, but it cools you off. I don't mind getting wet. You know,
I think you can still get wet at the edge.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, it doesn't matter either way. I'm just happy we're doing the regular course. I think it's not the snow route. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Route. I don't think it's going to be the snow route. But anyway, like either I'm there. Hell, I'm happy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you get to be surrounded by some really superstar runners. So, who are you excited to run with, to see that weekend?
Courtney, for sure.
Right.
We're big Courtney, the Walker fans.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. And just like the whole vibe. I mean, we follow all the YouTube videos. We watch YouTube videos, trail running all the time, and just seeing all the people you see who produce all the videos are always on the videos. So it'll be cool. And out in camp, I met a bunch of people. Like some are runners, some were just out running camp, and some people live there. And it's going to be fun seeing all of them. So it's going to be a great experience. It's a once in a lifetime, I feel like, experience.
Absolutely.
Vanessa?
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. I'm going to go for your crew. Sure.
Twice in a lifetime. Vanessa, who are you excited to see?
I think, Courtney. I mean, she's like, she's just incredible, and she's humble, and I think I would love to meet her in person. Although I'm not the type that like fangirls people. I usually like just kind of sit back, you know. But I remember seeing her actually before she was like hot on the scene at Javelina in 2017. She was running the 100K and she just dusted everyone, the men and the women.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody was like, who is that? Who is that? And then, you know, she started winning some more races. And so I did see her run there. And she's just, you know, she's just incredible. So
all right. I think all four of us are fans of
4 people.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Do you think she's going to pull off the double of Western States and Hard Rock?
I think so. I mean, like she's, as far as I've heard, that she's like healthy, and I think that's like the main thing. I mean, anything can happen, but she's certainly capable of it. I think, you know.
She's won both at one time. They're separate times, but
she's
So you pulling off a double win?
No. She's running Western and then Hard Rock.
Yeah, I know, but you're gonna win both.
Oh,
I mean, it's Courtney. You know, I believe, as far as I know, she's attempting to win both. Am I correct?
Yeah, right.
It's a hard thing to do. There's not much recovery time. Let's face it. It doesn't matter how amazing of a runner you are. Who has done it? Has Killian done it?
I don't know.
Killian
I'm not a fanboy myself either.
Killian Jornet has done Western.
I thought he has.
There's a whole YouTube video about it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
He didn't win it though, did he?
Unbroken.
Did he win?
I think it's called.
I think he won both.
And he won. I believe he won Hard Rock on the harder, because there's the different directions. And I think he won on the harder direction, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, I don't know if he won them in the same year, but I know Killian has run Western because there's that movie Unbroken.
Yeah. Timothy Olsen and those guys doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for those nerds out there, they're like me who follow all the people. There is a great lineup this year, and so real quick. Really interested in how Arlen Glick does. He's from Ohio. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. And I think everybody's He placed third last year. I think everybody is kind of in Arlen's corner because he's having a great year. Hayden Hawks, this could be his year. I think he could win it. And then, of course, we have, John, you're running this year. Excited to see how you do. Excited to see you cross that finish line, whether it's in the golden hour or earlier. Jeff Calvert is also out of Pennsylvania. I know, Eric, you want to give him a shout out. Yeah.
Yes, he's a good friend of mine and amazing human. Helps out a lot at some of these bigger ultras around us. And I wish him all the luck.
Yeah, absolutely. And he got in off the wait list. They're pulling a lot of people off the wait list this year.
Okay.
Also, Gene Dykes is headed there this year. He is a Pennsylvania runner. Yeah. I don't know if you saw him. He's 75 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's apparently had a good training cycle.
Yeah, we just saw him at we saw him running at D3. He was doing 12-hour.
Yes.
He just did the 12-hour. That's Bill Schultz and Mike Melton's racing just outside of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw him running there. He looked pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Great guy, too happy, saying hello. Still just doing his thing and just crushing it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, man, that's
I'm
exciting.
alive when I'm that old.
Exactly.
Running might be even better. Like, yeah, do both. That's the win.
Oh man, I can't wait to see how Gene does. Really hoping that he pulls off the finish. Of course, on the women's side, Courtney DeWalter, hoping that she pulls off another win. I think ultimately she wants to get a course record. I don't know that this is going to be the year for it with the weather.
Yeah, a lot of snow in the front, I think. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, between that and I heard the air quality is how was the air quality when you were there, John? Was it smoky?
It was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous.
There you go.
The weather was amazing.
You just saw like glitter and rainbows everywhere you went.
Oh yeah,
He did.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even hear from him the whole weekend, like literally.
So we dated long distance, and I went out to the West Coast in February, and I ran in Santa Monica, and I almost died of heat stroke out there. Let me tell you, the weather out there in Northern California was gorgeous. It was cool. It got a little hot in the canyons, and it definitely, like, the canyons are something that'll bake you.
Yeah.
And on a nice day, it baked me.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was gorgeous. The flowers were in bloom. It was nice. Everything like had water. It wasn't dry. It was good. Good stuff.
That's awesome. And I feel like Western is a race that not only do you have to have experience running, but experience racing. And the two of you race a lot. And there's a difference between running a lot and racing a lot. Like getting through aid stations quickly. Although, Vanessa, you're probably laughing because you're like, nap at aid station.
Yeah, I feel like I don't do that much racing. I mean, I guess we do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I mean, I raced the Loopy Looper, but that was a flat race, and those are not my favorite races to run. I don't, because I get bored. I want to see like things, so like going in the circle is hard.
Yeah.
But I would say like I did race that, but I don't feel like I've raced a lot, and I haven't since I got hurt.
I think you suffer really well.
I do. I am good at suffering. I'm good at growing up.
It was baking hot.
Yeah.
You went through so much ice.
How did you get hurt, Vanessa?
Of all things, I was doing jumping jacks. Like I was at, I'm an ambassador for Lululemon, and we were at an event in Philly, and I was like, we were having a competition, and in races, maybe I don't mind losing, but like put a competition in front of me and I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going hard. So I was trying to do as many jumping jacks as I could in a minute. And I was wearing some shoes. I was wearing Solomon's, and they have the slide, the pull thing. And when I wear them casually, I just leave them loose. But we kind of went in from a conversation right into this competition, and I didn't tighten my shoe up, and I just went boop, right off the side. So I broke my 5th metatarsal, and it kind of split into a Y.
So you didn't win the competition either, did you?
We had the most jumping jacks. Yes, my team did.
Nice.
So, I did keep going after I did it, and then I was like, oh wow, it's not good.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, so real quick, we'll pop back to Western States, and then I want to hear more about because you have some really great stories, Vanessa. So real quick, back to Western States, Killing Journey won Hard Rock and UTMB in the same year, in 2022. Looks like his last Western States win was in 2017. That sounds about right. And from what I heard, Killian is trying to reduce his carbon impact, and he does not live in the United States. So he's been doing more stuff in Europe lately. Mm-hmm. So on the women's side, however, let me get back to this because we have some important names. Camille Herron is going for it again. I'm interested to see how she does. She just dropped out of something. She dropped out of there was something that she didn't race this year because she wanted to focus more on Western. So good on her for being smart about it. Could have been Marathon des Sables. Wasn't it Marathon des Sables?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know what she was signed up for, but I feel like she always runs Tunnel Hill, and I don't think she was running that.
Yeah, I don't think she did Tunnel Hill, and I think she won Marathon des Sables last year, and she decided not to run it this year.
Yeah, she decided not to run it this year to focus on Western.
Yeah. Some other interesting names. Casey Lichtide, Pixie Ninja. She should do really well this year. Katie Scheid.
Finish.
What was
Western. That? She's trying to go for her 10th finish.
Ooh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
She has such a great attitude. I just loved her. So.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to talk to her at the camp. It was pretty,
Ah, that's very. Yeah. Is she tiny like a pixie?
Oh, yes.
She's a very cool person. From what I hear, I've never met her. Katie Scheid, she won UTMB in the past. So she should have a really great race. She's been doing well. And then I saw a couple other names on the list. I was sorting it in all different directions. Nicole Bitter, I mean, she's had top three wins at Western. She's very experienced. I feel like there's a lot of experience out on the course this year, which is not always the case. Sometimes there are some new faces and then it's kind of a toss up between the experience or the new face. But I feel like on the women's side, at least, there's a lot of experience. And speaking of, the other one is Pam Reed. So Pam Reed is coming to Western. I don't know if she's run it before, but I know she's a beast. She's won Badwater a bunch of times. And it was interesting because I sorted the list by age, because I wanted to see if Gene was the oldest one, and he was. And then just a few names up was Pam Reed, and I didn't realize she's 62 now, and she doesn't seem that old.
No.
No.
She's still running a ton. Like we know Pam a little bit, and she's amazing. She never stops.
When you're sitting talking, she's doing sit-ups and squats. She's just constantly moving, and she's super humble. Super nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing. I need to I should be doing sit-ups right now.
I
don't know why I'm not doing pull-ups.
We should all be doing sit-ups. Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff.
So excited to see how Pam does. I think she's just a great, great person of the sport to follow. So those are the people I'm following. Would love to hear from everybody else in the chat.
She's doing the double also.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, I think isn't she doing all three? She's doing Western, Hard Rock, and Badwater.
Yeah, she's doing Badwater because
she is.
Because somebody asked us to help crew her, and unfortunately we can't. But
I think I'd die I was just crewing. I just disappear.
Yeah, crewing Badwater is very difficult.
I feel like you need a crew van for the crew. Badwater, right? It's
just really hard because you're every mile or so, or every mile or two. It's a lot. It's very difficult on the crew.
Have you crewed it before?
I have, yes.
Oh my goodness! All right, you've done all the things, Vanessa. You have run Vol State a couple of times, right?
Twice.
Yeah, and then did HOTS. Yeah.
Yep. And I did a Vol State HOTS double in 2021.
Yeah, I thought so.
Something else, let me tell you. My feet were wrecked.
Oh my goodness! And there's people out on the HOTS course right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
We're envious of them somewhat.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, a local guy, Patrick Saxey, I guess is his last name. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. He's at mile 177 ish right now. He's co-director of Ironstone, and
oh, great race.
Yeah, helps out a lot of races around here. So kudos to him.
Yeah. Is that his first time on doing one of those races?
What's that?
Was that his first time doing HOTS or Vol State?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's an experience like no other. There's a lot of things that happen out there that you literally like can't make up. And Grace, I heard you saying like, oh, Vanessa, you have a lot of stories, but sometimes it's hard to come off the cuff with them because you forget all of the things that happen out there.
So you did Vol State twice. You completed it twice?
Yes.
Why did you go back a second time?
Listen, when I was like on day one of the second time, I was like, why did I do this again? Because it's a lot of suffering. It's really, it's very, very, very hot during Vol State. During HOTS, it was hot also, but it wasn't as brutal as like Vol State. And then you get rain and like, it's just, it's a lot. It's difficult. You're on your feet for like 7 days straight. I mean,
but why did you go back?
So wait.
It's almost like a weird little cult thing, kind of like.
It calls to you. It calls to you.
I think so. So here's something that for me, when I'm out there, like, so I'm a person that like checks my email all the time. I'm like checking my email, making sure that I'm, on top of work and all that. But when I get out there, all of that kind of like goes out the window and I can just like focus on getting from one point to the other and how am I going to get food, water, and shelter. Maybe shelter.
And somewhere to sleep. Yeah.
To sleep. Maybe.
Lay down.
Survival.
So,
and can you just real quick, Vanessa, in case anybody hasn't heard of Vol State or HOTS, just real quick, like what are those two races?
Okay, so Vol State is a race that's been going on for I don't know how many years, but it's a Lazarus Lake production. So you run 314 miles from it's like the
Kentucky,
from the Mississippi River, like down across south through Tennessee to Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm. In what month?
Georgia.
What's that? In July.
Month?
And it is
in July.
Yes, in July. And it is literally like, it is so hot. I'm not kidding you. It's so hot. It's humid.
Yeah.
The first year I had chafing up, down, back, forward, everywhere on day one, like literally halfway through the day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so jacked up. Like, how am I going to finish? But anyways, you have up to 10 days. So you've got to do 50K a day, which on paper, that sounds like, you could hike 50K in a day, like no big deal. Like it seems a lot easier than it is. I remember Michael Wilson and I, we did it together the first year and we were both like, come on, like we got this. It is hard though. It is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it's just I think it's the continual suffering.
There's like everything's so far apart, like the gas stations, like you'll go forever and you'll just be in a development or you'll just along the side of a country road and like there's no shoulder. There's like a long grassy area, which if you go in, you get chiggers. So there's no shade, you're exposed. Yeah. The humidity is horrible. Like it's something we learned about dew point. A high dew point is really bad and everything is just sticky and everything sticks to you and it's just the chafing's really bad. So you'll bake for a long, long time and you'll get into a Dollar General and we'll just like lay down on the ground in the Dollar General off because like that's we have the Vol Staters, we all love like Dollar General so much just because that's probably the only area we'll see gas stations, Dollar Generals. That's the only things that are along the course.
It's like heaven on earth.
Yeah.
So did you ever get mistaken for a homeless person?
Oh yeah, all the time. Well, people, I think
at Vol State they know.
I think at Vol State, yeah, like people, it happens, at the same time every year, and it's the same route. But HOTS, the thing about HOTS is the route changes every year, and the participants don't get the route until the night before, and then you've got to start like trying to plan. And if you have a hard time planning like 2 or 3 steps ahead, you're going to really struggle there, because timing wise, not everything's open 24 hours. So you got to figure out what time does something open? When are you going to get there? And how far is it to the next place you can get food, water, shelter, whatever.
Wow. And how long is HOTS kind of?
I think he usually says it's anywhere between 320 and 350. I think it's 347 this year. The year I did it, I think it was 324. But I think it changes depending on like whatever route Laz and Carl dream up.
And what month is that in?
It's going on right now. HOTS is going on right now.
Oh yeah, that's June. So you did, so you just want to like recap for everybody. So you did 2 300 milers in the same year, one in June and one in July in the South.
Yeah.
On the road.
I think I had like 10 or 12 day break in between or something. It was a very.
We race directed a race in between. She ran.
Yeah.
We put on Haynes Sport.
Yeah, that was.
That's insane.
We won't talk about piss poor planning.
Insane. I love it. So I have so many questions. One, because the first thing that gets into my head is, how do you deal with the camber of the road? Do you always run on the left side? Because that's supposed to be the correct side. But does that mess with your hips and your knees? And
you know what? The first year when I ran Ball State, I had a little hip issue, but it was weird. I had this like weird niggle where I was giving out. And then like that was going on for like maybe 12 hours, then it went away. Like things change, like everything's fluid. Wow. For me, I do like to run facing traffic. But a lot of times you're on like a backcountry road where maybe it's like dark or at night and there's nothing. And I'll just move to the center. Because I don't like to be on that, like the side, you know?
That's what I think of. I'm like, I can't be crooked for 300 miles. That's insane.
No, me either. So you can move to some places. You'll have sidewalk if you're in a town. But this is not like, this is like, I want to say like backwoods. Like it's not like you're going through all these like major cities. A lot of it is like, back country, like farm roads. There can be certainly traffic, but
I don't remember much camber though on the roads.
I feel like some places
there were big giant highways. They were concrete. They're pretty flat for the most part.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of drinking that went on too, so maybe he doesn't remember everything.
Eric, you ready to sign up for both of those in the same year?
I mean, I've thought about Vol State. It's crossed my mind, but it never gets that high up in my mind. So
you don't like sleeping on concrete?
I like the sound of all of it. Honestly, I really do. It's just, I got to prioritize, and it's on my list.
Yeah. Well, it's a long thing. So like you have 10 days to finish it, but like you have to be there 2 days before that. Like it's a commitment as far as like taking time out of your family. But that is one of the things, like for me, I use against myself, like when things are like really, when I'm like totally in the shitter, I was just like, you took this time away from everybody else. Like somebody's watching my kids, like somebody else has to deal with house stuff. But I think like going back to like, why do I sign up for it again? Or why have I? It's just like letting go of all the responsibilities and just like being totally free of that is super. For me, like I love that.
Yeah.
I feel that for sure. I mean, that's why a lot of us do it, I think.
Yeah, like I mean, you guys are parents, and like we're parents. We have 5 kids, and man, the moment of not having responsibility is really nice.
No laundry. Yeah, you got to wash out your socks, but that's about it.
All right, Grace, you can keep it. I know you have a ton of questions for her, and you can keep going with the correct questions. Or I want to know. Give me a list of the races that you guys RD, and this is your chance to shine and tell everybody what races are out there, because I know you have a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Oh, we'll start with recent. The
we'll
next
start.
One. We have
start at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
The beginning of the year. Oh, that's
well, we've got Big Woods half marathon. That's in March.
Right.
That's in French Creek State Park.
Yeah.
It's a pretty beefy half marathon. I mean, you guys, I think, well, I don't know where you live, Eric. I know you live like in.
I actually grew up about 20 minutes from there. So I'm very familiar. I just don't get down there that much anymore.
Yeah. So like, I feel like where we're from, we don't have a lot of elevation where we live.
Right.
French Creek's, about an hour and a half from us. But it's a pretty like beefy, half marathon. It's got over 2,000 feet of elevation gains. It's got some technical sections or whatever.
And I gotta say, like, I went over and I did pre-sweeping for Big Woods.
Yeah.
And I was excited to just get some miles in and see how my legs were doing at the time. And I didn't anticipate that course to be so pretty and have as much technicality to it and elevation gain as it did, because in my head, anything like east of the Conestoga Trail is flat.
Yeah,
That's just my assumption in my head. Like, it's all flat over there. And I kind of think of, Naked Prussian and the Naked, which are super fun races. I just assume that they're flat and runnable. And so I was really surprised with Big Woods and beautiful course. So really nice layout. And I'm glad you created a race out there.
Yeah. And we've got the secret trail section, which that was kind of like a decommissioned trail. And it's like really coming back. Like, people that have run the race every year, they're like, wow, it's actually like you can kind of see where it goes now. Like, before it was like literally just looked like we stuck flags in the ground wherever we wanted.
Yeah, I know the section you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Like, nobody forgets that section.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not a really groomed trail. It's more of an adventure trail.
Yeah,
it is.
That side, but we have a mix of everything on that trail.
Yeah.
On that course.
That course, yeah.
Yeah, there's some runnable stuff.
April, we had Jersey Devil.
Which we finally got off the ground after 3+ years of planning. This year, it was amazing. There were a few little hiccups or whatever, as to be expected, I think, with first-year races. And we just missed the 100 finisher mark. I think we had 89. We were hoping we could have 100 finishers so we could apply to be a Western States qualifier. But you know what? It was a good start. Like, I think we had a high DNF rate. It was extremely hot. It was like one of the first like hottest days of like the year. People were like, oh my gosh. I was baking and I was helping out at an aid station. And then at night it rained all night long on these people. Like it was, so the finish rate was pretty low. And I think a lot of it contributed to that. And people said that, they felt like the race was definitely harder than they expected.
Well, so yeah, everybody says like gags, Batona is deceptively difficult.
Yeah.
It's on paper, it's flat.
It is.
But it's
Flat's
not
hard.
Yeah. There's some sandy sections.
It I don't know, lines. It beats people up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like at the start line, we're saying, oh, they're going sub 20. There's, and they said it took a lot of wind out of people's sails. And then Mother Nature threw a 1-2 punch on everybody. But we have the Devil and Batona. We have a First State Trail Race in Delaware.
That's in Wilmington, Delaware. That's probably I feel like that's probably our most scenic course. We got a great venue. We're right there at Ramsey's farm. We love the people that own the farm. They're amazing. So the runners got to like hang out and like pet the animals. Like the farm, the guy that owns the farm, he was like letting some of the runners were like feeding the baby calves. That was so fun. We love animals, so
it's a hilly race with views, on the East Coast in Delaware,
That's a great way, if you're trying to check off the a race in every state. That's a great one to add to the list, because there's not a ton of races in Delaware.
Oh,
yeah. And that's we have a 10K, 25K, 50K over there.
Nice.
And then we've got Mercer County Half Marathon, which is in September. This will be our second year. It's September 3rd this year. We I feel like our date we were a little bit later last year because we were September 18th last year. So we're trying to find where we fit with that race. That's a road race. It's in Robbinsville, which is kind of near Trenton. Nice, like country roads. Could be a fast course. And then we have Hainesport Endurance Run, which is a timed race. And
sounds terrible. No, it sounds great. It sounds great.
No, I don't love running the looped races. However, it's like a big party picnic, like with a bunch of people. We got a tent city that goes up there. We serve really good food there. We have like
bathrooms with plumbing.
And we have meal times where we like, we have like vegan and regular dishes that we serve like, at dinner time. Maybe like lunchtime, it'll be like pizza and pasta. I don't know. Like we have a menu. And it's really cool. Like Hainesport Township, we love them. That's where we live. And they have been super supportive in allowing us to really kind of get our feet wet with the timed races. And it is growing exponentially every year. So.
Yeah, it is a great venue. I've had it on my list for a while. I've had all your races on my list for a while. That's why I had to come out and at least sweep one of them. And this one is interesting. So it's a 1 mile paved loop. And is Hainesport's the one on New Year's, right?
Well, so that again, we've been playing with the date, and I don't know if we'll ever have a solid date for that, because the issue is if we've had it on 4th of July, we've had it on New Year's. I feel like we might bring the New Year's race back. Probably not this year because it's too close to when we're hosting it. Like the plan was kind of to host it twice a year, and then but that has changed a little bit because of our family and our kids. Like our kids are in a lot of activities, and we're trying to remember that our kids are only this young right now. And make sure that we don't oversaturate our time with like work. We're trying to find out. And John, I think, has kind of pushed me to make a solid date for that. But for me, I feel like we don't have to be like every race, and it is hard though, because people can't plan for it. They're not like, oh, next year it's going to be, October 7th. This year it's October 7th.
But the nice part of it, on the other hand, is for some people, if October 7th doesn't work every single year, if you're floating it, then it can work. I know there's a couple of races that I just can't do, and I'm never able to do because it falls on my anniversary or, a holiday that I just am committed to my family. And sometimes I wish I had some floating races out there so I could participate in them.
And we're the same way, because we want to run the other races. So like if we always have it on the same date, then we can't run any races that are on that date.
Exactly.
Because we're out there trying to run everybody's races.
And we like to put. I mean, I was selling, but we always try to put on races that we want to run, and we end up like our own races. We like want to run them, but our kids' birthdays are right around Javelina, and like we want to run Javelina. It's like that weekend. It's maybe when they get older. What else do we have after? We have Batona.
Well, and we just put on a little 5K for the
we didn't talk about Batona.
Oh, Batona.
Yeah, the Batona 55.
How could we forget that?
That was our first race. Yeah. She finished, what was it, 2018?
2018.
When she first moved out here, and Angie and Dennis were going to have a baby. So they're saying, do you know anybody who will want to take the race? I'm like, and she was talking about wanting to be a race director. I'm like, hey.
I wanted to just get my feet wet in that. Like I wanted to do it in California, but I felt I was by myself and I was single running, I have another business called Beast Pacing, and that is pretty, it's more than pretty busy. It's ridiculous. It's very busy.
24/7.
Yeah. We're supporting over 150 road races a year with that business. And I didn't feel like I had the time to put on a race, even though a lot of my friends were like, you should do it. I'm like, I didn't quite feel like I had the time to do that. But now that I have like somebody else that can help me and support me,
Yeah, it was successful though. The first year was amazing. It was really cool. And it's putting on races is so rewarding for us too. Like running them is rewarding. You meet people, you're running, you have a goal, but when seeing everybody, you just feel all the good feels about it. It's a good thing. It's just really, really, and the big highlight last year, I think, was Hainesport when we had the 48 hour and we had some of the 80-year-old crowd.
Oh my gosh.
100 miles on our course. And a big crew that finished the 100 earlier the day before came back to watch the 48 hours finish.
Yeah.
It was such a good, like, positive. That's what running is all about. That's what got me involved. It's just about like that good feeling. And we get that from the race directing too. And let me tell you, we're tired at the end. You're like spastic, like the devil. Like we were like pulling our hair out at some point. You know, this thing was going, and it's just me in the U-Haul dropping water and food and this, and she's going in the opposite direction. She's got to go. And it was smooth as silk. There's a little hiccup here and there, but well, you're like your adrenaline is like bursting. Yeah. You know, and then you see these people finish and families huddling together. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I love seeing people like super wrecked and then
me too.
Push them to keep going. Like so at Hainesport we have the opportunity because like I mean, there's a few of our friends, Melissa Gill, probably for 5 hours, she was like, F you, Vanessa. I'm like, just keep going. one more, you know. Yeah. But I love seeing people push past that point, you know, because they're just so like wrecked and just watching them accomplish what they didn't think they could do a few hours ago.
Right. And being a part of that for them. And I think one of the things that I really enjoyed watching from you, Vanessa, is just you're a huge inspiration for other women who are in race directing or trying to get into race directing. I know there's a few of us on the East Coast, not a ton of female race directors. And you really show that, you know, it is completely possible to do it. And of course, it's always nice to have the support of a significant other. But you show that it can be done. So I appreciate that you're representing the female race directors out there. I'm not doing nearly as much as you are, but I'm a baby race director. And
you have also, don't sell yourself short though, because you have like this is my whole job. Like you have a regular traditional job.
I do.
So I have the opportunity. I have a little more time maybe to do that. I mean, I am pretty busy with my other business, but don't sell yourself short. You're doing great things out there too.
I appreciate that. And you are doing, the two of you have done some crazy things. So I do want to talk about this really quick. And that is the drop bag challenge. Oh, God. Can you please tell everybody what the drop bag challenge is? And we'll close everything out with that story because I think this is a good one.
Well,
I'll start off.
I wanted to start.
It was my idea because we had a big.
It's actually Jamil's.
It's Jamil's idea, but we had a big pile of drop bags that nobody claimed for the devil. And she put it out there, so you have this amount of time to get it. And it's just sitting in our driveway, like 25, 30 drop bags. It went down to 21 that we could actually salvage. And we're like, let's do a drop bag challenge. And let's see if Michael Wilson will do it with us. Well, we got Michael Wilson to do it. We got Dave Goldstein to do it. Originally, it was a guy named Sean Harkins. I don't know if you know him. And then something happened where he hurt himself. And then Kate Sidoli.
She's an absolute beast.
Yeah, she is super sweet, and she's a beast.
She's amazingly strong.
So I couldn't believe that we got 3 other suckers to join us.
It's amazing. I'm glad you had good representation too. So 5 people. And can you explain what the drop bag challenge is? It did come from Jamil Corey. What is it?
So you basically there was how many 3 bags that we have each?
No, we had 4.
4 bags each. So we line up on with a table in front of us, and somebody randomly hands us a drop bag. So we kind of knew with the drop bags, we didn't know what was inside, but we knew the weight and everything. So we randomly numbered everything, and we drew numbers out of a hat. So we get totally random bags
on the first round.
And then whoever fitted. So that's how we got assigned the bags. So when we got the bags, we opened them, and whatever was in there, consumable, we had to eat. Anything that was wearable, we had to wear. Okay. If his shoes too small, you had to carry.
Okay.
And they were all gross and sweaty. And if it was like a goo stuff, you had to put it on there, like Body Glide. You had to put the Band-Aids.
Oh God.
Now, if it was like medicine, we weren't taking medicine. And if it was I had a moldy bagel at one point. I threw it away.
Michael Wilson had this, and this was 1 month after the race.
Disgusting.
So they've been sitting there. Michael said that he opened a container that had sushi in it. It was so bad. And I think Dave Goldstein opened a container with fruit, and it was like, it was.
So, is this like a thing where everybody's a winner type of thing? Or
wait. Let's back up. So it's 4 drop bags each.
Yes.
You open up the drop bag. You have to eat anything that's inside of the drop bag. You have to wear any wearables, consume any consumables, and then you run after that, right?
Yes.
We run a loop around our park where we hold the Hainsport endurance race.
So you do a mile.
We actually did a half mile-ish.
We shortened it, thank goodness.
Last minute, we shortened it to a half mile.
Oh, I don't know. That was hard, just like that short with eating those kind of things. It was nasty.
Yeah.
So you run a half mile, you come back, and then you open up another drop bag and have to put on more things, or do you switch out the clothes?
You could take off then. I think we took off, like I had a hat and I took off. And we had to switch because
we had to slop them off because most of them were wet.
I had
because it rained at the Devil.
It rained at the Devil, so a lot. And here's the thing: is you don't think about you think about what people put in there. You don't like to retrieve. You don't think about what people took off and put back in there.
Yeah.
So I had 4 pairs of
into
socks.
a dry bag too. So whatever was wet that went into a dry bag festered in our driveway.
Yeah, all that moisture.
I had 4 pairs of socks, 1 in each bag, and 3 of them had already been worn and were wet, sitting for a month. I was like, great, I'm gonna get athlete's sweat. Like, this is
and I feel like you can't really do this again because people are just going to leave drop bags.
I know. Yeah.
We were kind of wondering about that, but we think that we have to get other people involved. Like, so for me during, while it was going on, we did live stream it on YouTube. Thanks to our friend Albie, which was really great because while I was in it, I had no idea what all these other idiots were doing. Like, I was so focused on getting stuff into my mouth, putting clothes on. I saw that Dave Goldstein had a pair of underwear that said, "This is a pair of underwear" or something.
This is a free pair of underwear.
Oh yeah, this is a free pair of underwear.
Right there, bold in front.
There was all these things that happened, and I didn't realize what was going on because I was so focused on trying to
win.
I think Michael had 20 goos. Michael Wilson ended up with 20. I had 2 full bags of chips. 2.
Yeah.
And I got the same drop bag, same guy's drop bag twice.
Not a single serving bag of chips.
A full.
Yeah.
And there were the ridges, and I went to Western States camp after that, and my mouth was totally wrecked. It was cut up.
Cut up.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
It actually was pretty quick.
Within a half hour, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
The video is on our Facebook page, but I think it was definitely I remember thinking oh God, this is going to take forever and people are going to get bored, but it was pretty fast. And we were, we had come in and out at different times. So there was always something going on. All I know is I want to spectate next time, not for
plug-in for Albie Day. Look up his YouTube, and he'll have the video on there. You need to see it.
It's on our page too.
It's on our page too. It's really good, and you'll see Kate Sodoli pull it out in the back end. But Michael won.
I was gonna say who won, Michael. Yeah.
Dave Goldstein is a competitive eater. He's what's it? U.S. male.
He does hot dog competitions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's won the Wing Bowl a few times, so he's a real deal. But Michael and Kate a little bit faster, but Kate was way behind and she ended up lapping all of us.
Yeah,
and just barely lost it to Michael, I think, right?
Yeah,
within a minute.
She left out,
and she had so much stuff.
She left out of the first bag. She was the last one to leave. I think we were all almost at least halfway through the loop or back in before she actually got to leave. And Everybody passed me. I don't know when.
I feel like this is a race I could excel at. I mean,
right? But the thing is, you're going to get something
race.
weird. Like the worst thing I had was a coffee flavored gels. I'm like, who eats those? Who the hell eats those? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like I'm a trash panda at heart. I mean, that's my training plan. And that's what Vol State was, team trash panda. It's just like eat whatever you can eat. And just, I'm not really picky. Except eggplant. I don't want that. That's pretty nasty.
You're going to get eggplants next time. Next New Jersey Devil is just going to be bags of eggplants.
Right?
Oh, God. No, we're going to cut down the drop bag size because it was ridiculous.
Oh, God.
We have a picture of her daughter. Her Explorer was almost on the ground with the weight of the drop bags. And they're so huge. There's like giant duffels of bags.
Wow.
I don't know what people.
Who needs all those things?
I don't know. You guys, we got aid stations. We've got aid stations.
Yeah, exactly.
Please. Take of my back.
Well, I hope you gave Eric some ideas of things that he can do for fun runs in the future. Where can everybody follow all of your races, your shenanigans, all of the fun stuff that you're doing in New Jersey and elsewhere?
So our business page is Beast Coast Productions on Facebook or at Beast Coast Pro on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Vanessa J. Kline. His is Swan Runs Far. And then we're on Facebook with just under our regular names. You'll find us because, we're wearing running stuff.
How about our fun duck experience, Grace?
Oh my goodness. I think we almost went the entire episode without talking about the other guy, the other Swanson.
Yeah. But Gabe tried to kill us. That's all.
Awesome Gabe and awesome Trent. Yeah.
Yeah, we love them. Yeah.
That's for another episode, probably.
Gabe tried to kill us. Are either of you going back? And that was the first time I met you, Vanessa and John, was when I volunteered for the duck. The two of you were so impressive.
No, we ran with you at Fun. I remember.
Oh,
Vanessa came. Yeah, there was snow and mud. That's
yes.
Year, yeah.
Oh, that year. I was so done with that course that year.
2018 or no, maybe it was after that, 2019. It was January. Yeah. And
the second loop around was just a mud pit. I remember that sloppy. Thing was terrible. Yeah, I don't think I've done the course since then. I volunteered for Fun since then because I love that race. And
yes.
And it's a great race. Carl's great, but
we love Carl.
Yeah, but I won't run it. Ever since then. Either of you going back to Algonquin or Duck?
Oh, probably. Yeah. I think everything always.
Great race.
If we could put every single race on our schedule, we certainly would. I think it's just a lot of like trying to work around our kids' schedules and our work schedule as far as like the races and beast pacing. That's my other business. But if we could run a race every day, every weekend, we probably would do that because I know that we talked about like racing and running. I feel like we mostly run races. I don't think, we're never, there's a few things that, like for me, there's a few things that I could win, but it's got to be very, it's got to be very regional. It can't have too much of a draw. Like, the looper the looper has a good draw. Yeah. But I think it's like really hot in the loops. I think it makes people nervous, but I'd love to see, they just opened up a 100-miler there, and I'd love to see some more women get a buckle there.
Yeah.
So far I'm the only one, but I would love, I feel like I kind of opened that door for ladies in our area, and I would love to see more people. I know there's plenty of women that can just smash what I did, You
just opened up that challenge.
Yeah.
More women at the looper.
Yes.
So really appreciate having the both of you on. And have you been on other podcasts before?
Yeah.
I figured as much. I haven't heard them yet. For some reason, I've missed any podcast you've been on. So I'm just like, I just have to have you on mine.
We've been on
Gags' podcast.
Yeah, we've been on Gags. We've been on Kim Levinsky's. We've been on this guy Andrew Lee's. We also
Andy.
Yeah, Andy Rivera from why am I drawing a blank? Andy Rivera. He has some races in the Vineland area.
Hot man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on his podcast and
All the awesome people. And it figures you know everybody out there. Well,
Grace, I'm cutting you off, Grace. You're done.
I'm glad I got to ask you all the questions, and I really appreciate you coming on to our little podcast. John, best of luck to you this weekend.
Yeah, good luck,
Thank
John.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Take care. Nice talking to you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, everybody.
Grace, what are you doing this weekend?
Let's see. This weekend, I am. What am I doing this weekend?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I'm volunteering on the Rocks Trail Run. That is Scott Newcomer's race
Nice.
down here in York, Pennsylvania, and the Trail Sisters of South Central Pennsylvania. Julia Martin, she kind of coordinates all of the volunteering, and so helping out at On the Rocks.
Cool.
How about you?
I'm running up here in Maine all week, and then we'll be traveling back on the weekend. So nothing too exciting.
Well, fabulous. I can't wait to talk to you next Monday. Hear all about your adventures. I'm going to hear stories, and we'll see how everybody does at Western States.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.